All right, moving on now to more news coming in. The Congress is facing criticism from all ends over their shirtless protests. After Jagan Mohan Reddy, Mayawati and Akhilesh Yadav, now senior Congress leaders too, have slammed the protests. Margaret Alva said dignity should be maintained in such global summits. This comes after the PM called out the Congress specifically for bringing shame to the nation. He also clearly isolated them from other opposition parties over the act. The young Congress president has meanwhile been summoned by Delhi police over what they claim was a Nepal-like conspiracy. The Congress has come out in the defense of Youth Congress, ignoring criticism given by their own allies and even party leaders. Joining us live, Mukesh Tyagi, BJP spokesperson. Saral Patel, Congress spokesperson, is joining us live. Joyita Basu, editor of the Sunday Guardian. Manasvi Thapar, political analyst, is also with us on the broadcast. Joyita, do you believe now the Congress is isolated even within the opposition India alliance over this shirtless protest at Bharat Mandapam? Is it becoming increasingly untenable for the Congress to defend this senseless act, and why are they continuously doing so?
Yeah, Uday, have you realized? I mean, we are using the word less very, often when it comes to Congress, shirtless, friendless, useless, so basically that is what has happened to Congress. I mean, and how on earth can they possibly justify a protest like that? And why a shirtless protest? It is not that these were young university students, activists, that, at least they would have looked pretty on camera, being modern and stuff like that. Here, these were really pot-bellied men in their God knows 40s or 50s and stuff like that, and then running around and getting beaten up by the public over there. Frankly, it was such a mess. Why do it on an international, where the international participants are there? I mean, what exactly are you, deriving from it? And when even Akhilesh Yadav is talking about, while he does not like the BJP, and it's but natural as part of the opposition, he is going to criticize the BJP. But the fact is that, even he could not support it. So it shows how clueless Congress is. Whoever thought of this particular protest, I don't think they realize that it is going to backfire. Go talk to the people, and ultimately why are you doing it? What kind of a narrative are you trying to talk about? There is nothing constructive in such protests. This is very destructive. So the thing is, people, if they think people are, watching and people are falling for it, then obviously they do not have the pulse of the common man on the ground.
All right, let me take that to you, Saral Patel. Now, leaders within the Congress party also are criticizing as to what happened. Margaret Alva too has said that this is very concerning as to how this can happen at a multilateral summit like the AI. She is a senior leader within your party. She is also someone who's been close to the Gandhis. She's also someone who's put up as your candidate as well for one of the highest offices in the country. Of course, we've already heard what your colleagues in the opposition benches have to say from other parties. Will then now you admit, Saral, that this protest perhaps was not needed? It should have been thought better. It should have been done better. Yes, perhaps the issue you raised you have a right to, but should it have been done better than a shirtless protest at a highly intellectual gathering like the AI summit?
Uday, before I respond to your question, I would like to respond to what the woman was saying before me, that these are pot-bellied people who were out there on screen. So I would like to remind her that if she followed the news during 2010, she would see that a pot-bellied gentleman, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, was protesting outside the venues of the Commonwealth Games, leading his workers while he was the national president of the BJP, while the 7 athletes from 70 countries were playing in New Delhi, and they were scoring a political brownie points over a non-issue. So let us not forget that, in last 11 years, the space of protest has shrunk in the country. If farmers protest, they are termed Khalistanis. If students in the universities protest, they are termed urban Naxals. If Christians protest, they are termed as missionaries. If Muslim protest, they are termed as Pakistanis. So BJP has reduced the space. Even when the MPs in the parliament protest, 150 MPs were suspended from the parliament. So it's, if BJP should be the last person to say that the venue of that was not right, because BJP has shrunk the space of dissent in the entire country. And if BJP wants to talk about embarrassing India, let us not cherry pick. India is embarrassed when the world sees a 1.4 billion strong nation signing a one-sided trade deal with the US that benefits US and gets nothing for India. India was embarrassed at global stage when the Prime Minister allowed ISI to visit our strategic and sensitive Pathankot airbase to investigate the very terror attack that was perpetrated by them. India was embarrassed in Pulwama when 40 Jawans were martyred because our government failed to provide the aircrafts to them. And 6 years on, we have still not been figured. We have not figured out how 600 kgs of RDX got into our borders. That is what embarrasses India, and BJP is smartly making it. I saw the speech of the Prime Minister yesterday. His frustration was quite palpable, and he used the language that is unbecoming of the Prime Minister. So youth raise their question for their future, and that is not embarrassing India. That is holding the government.
Now coming back, now you believe, of course, what they did at that point was not becoming. Now coming back to what you did, because two wrongs do not make a right. Shouldn't you be different from the BJP? If you claim you are different, if you claim you have a different vision from your party, if you feel what they did at that point was wrong, why did your youth congress do this? Would you now say that in hindsight perhaps this should have been done better? Will you admit that?
Uday, see, you cannot say that, just because a event was, an international event was taking place, that takes away the people's right to protest, right?
No,
across the world,
to shout at the top of their voices and try and disrupt the gathering and to strip their clothes. What was the need to take off their shirt?
Uday, let's be honest here. Put a hand on your heart and see that youth congress has been protesting every month for last 11 years. When did your channel take the cognizance of any of the protests?
Multiple times.
So this forum was right.
Multiple times.
The space is shrinking.
So it was a publicity stunt.
It was a publicity stunt. Venue that hit the nerve with the government.
It was a publicity stunt, Saral. It was a publicity stunt to draw attention.
No, it was to draw an attention towards the plight of the farmers and to how India is signing one-sided deal under pressure of Epstein files, and how they have not asked Mr. Hardeep Puri to resign. So that was to highlight the pressure, the immense pressure.
So you had to do it is what you're saying. What do you make though of Margaret Alva's criticism and what Akhilesh Yadav, Mayawati and others have said?
Congress party, unlike the BJP, is a democratic party, and Margaret Alva has clarified that her views were her own, and she is free to. She is a kind of a politician that practiced politics about some 2 decades ago. So 2 decades ago, the politics of the country was different. 2 decades ago, the Prime Minister did not stand in the Parliament and take cheap potshot at his opponents. Narendra Modi has changed the game. And Narendra Modi is paying the price for
Was this authorized by Mallikarjun Kharge and Rahul Gandhi, this protest?
The Youth Congress is free to take their own decisions. Unlike so can the BJP spokesperson answer that that BJYM protesters who attacked our office in Indore and Mandsaur and attacked our office in Assam, were they authorized by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Nitin Nabin?
Okay, let me take that to you, Manasvi Thapar. Now, the fact, of course, is, do you believe that now this protest has become pretty indefensible for the Congress party? Despite what Saral Patel is saying on the broadcast today, do you believe the Congress now has become increasingly isolated within the opposition alliance?
No, I feel the content could be right, but the conduct was not right. I think something which went wrong with Congress here is that they may have the right of a protest, they may have the right to choose the content, but they should not derogate the way protests should have happened. And Congress is a political party which has evolved since pre-independence era, and it has conducted itself well. Never ever in the history of Congress such kind of protests have happened. Most of the times, even when Mahatma Gandhi led protests against the Britishers, such kind of taking the shirts out or such kind of conduct against the British India government was never done there. And now, when in 21st century India we see a healthy opposition, we don't see that healthy opposition. This is the first time wherein Congress's youth, which is generally a very powerful youth organization, which has done massive campaigns against those who are in power and have conducted a remarkable social media campaign better than the Congress. The youth have performed much better than the Congress in the past. But this kind of conduct, I don't feel people in Congress, people not in Congress, in the opposition, and BJP is loving this. And this is just desperation at its highest is what can be said at this particular point, which was not required. Yes, you had the right to protest. AI Summit could have been a good opportune time for you to protest to garner some kind of eyeballs. But this has suddenly made a national level party as a rowdy political party, getting into getting shirtless men out there. So this is not the kind of protest we could expect from Congress. So this does not go well with anyone, even in Congress. I think my brother Saral has to defend Congress because he's the spokesperson of Congress. Having said that, I don't think that this is the kind of politics. Even Rahul Gandhi does not endorse this. Even top level leaders of Congress, the past leaders of Congress will not endorse this kind of politics. Even BJP does not do this kind of politics. So I don't know any other political party in our country which has gone to this level of politics wherein they take their shirts off. So you have the right to protest. You have the right to talk about FDA. You have the right to talk about Epstein files. You have the right to question Hardeep Puri. You have the right to question the Prime Minister of India, not only on streets, but also in the parliament.
Okay,
So,
Mukesh Tyagi, come in here.
I think it's something.
Manasvi Thapar, who very often supports the Congress's stand, says this should have been handled better. You have Margaret Alva, who is a senior leader of the Congress party, who says this shouldn't have happened. You have Akhilesh Yadav, Mayawati and other opposition leaders saying it shouldn't have happened. Why was this technique used? Why was this done at the AI summit? But the Congress party still feels it's justified. Mukesh Tyagi.
उदय इनसे ये पूछे कि किस हद तक नंगाई पे उतर सकते हैं कांग्रेस के लोग. दिस इज द क्वेश्चन राइट नाउ बिकॉज दे आर राइटिंग ए न्यू slogan script how they are in the future going to embarrass the government. If this is their position now, maybe they will go full strip, full Monty. Next time any such kind of convention happens to embarrass the government, to embarrass the nation. So Gandhi will fall into the hall of shame with like Rakhi Sawant, Urfi, who go half nude publicly and want to get the eyeball attention. I think Rahul Gandhi is living exactly with the same mindsets. He is suffering from attention deficit disorder. He needs attention. He needs to be seen. I think he loves this kind of attention to himself because he's politically is finished. But he's now trying to create a social paranoia around that I'm the custodian of the national interest. I mean, they could have gone with the black band. You see, one of the most decent way to protest historically, you put the black band around your sleeve and you go and protest. You can go and meet them also. Rahul Gandhi has gone many times out of country and talked against India. I mean, that level, so it is okay. We never said that there should be a case of treason against him. High Court has passed judgment against them. This is a very, very embarrassing for the country. If High Court had taken, it's your democratic right to protest, maybe they would have endorsed your way of protesting or going half nude. But the courts have completely denounced and ridiculed this kind of a protest. So who is BJP? And let me tell you this all planning happened in front of Rahul Gandhi. In the monsoon session, Rahul Gandhi was talking outside the parliament. Prime Minister is compromised. So Priyanka ji was there, then Sonia ji was there. So this is a pre-orchestrated, premeditated protest. Now Rahul Gandhi is not disowning either at the same time. So I mean, and don't compare with the Nitin Gadkari. Let me tell you, you have been parroting these 2, 3 issues in a program yesterday also, or maybe day before. I mean, Nitin Gadkari issue was when CAG was indicted Commonwealth was indicted by the CAG. And that protest was happening, but he did not go inside the Commonwealth Games. You guys entered inside, sneaked into it. You compromised on the security, and then you are abusing Prime Minister of India in front of such a distinguished gathering. Aren't you embarrassed of yourself? What kind of leader of opposition you are?
But Saral Patel says, Saral Patel says, as you heard him earlier, that you've done it before. Your party has done it before international events. So why shouldn't they?
Uday, we didn't enter inside. It was outside. They could have done outside Mandapam. Who is stopping them? And that time, you see, there is a huge difference. That time, the Auditor General had passed a scathing attack and against the Commonwealth Games. Sheila Dikshit, there lots of corruption happened during that time. So we took the real issue. They don't have any issue. Which issue Rahul Gandhi has proved? They are talking about India-US trade deal. Let me have independent debate with him. What kind of spin-off it is going to have? AI, $500 billion investment. I mean, you are talking completely out of your mind. The kind of benefit which will percolate out of this Indo-US deal, you will see to it that India is marching ahead. Semiconductor reliance, we are shifting our reliance from China to other countries. We are shifting because of the tariff competitiveness. I think the most of the manufacturing is going to shift.
Okay, Saral Patel responding to you.
Uday, I would like to jog the memory of my friend from the BJP. If you can see these pictures on your screen. These are the pictures of Mr. Anil Vij, who is leading a protest, and he is fully shirtless. At least our youth Congress workers were not fully shirtless. They were wearing a vest. They did not even have the decency to do that. Number one. Number two, my friend said, okay, they were protesting outside the venue. They did not enter the venue. The police at the time was efficient enough to stop them outside. If your police force under Mr. Amit Shah is so incompetent that they could not be stopped outside the venue and they entered the venue, you cannot blame the Congress party. You should hold the Home Minister accountable that how did the police and the security arrangement fail despite spending crores and crores of taxpayers' money. Number three, before 2014, 15 prime ministers of the country traveled across the globe. Show me one instance where they discussed their domestic politics on a foreign soil. After 2014, Narendra Modi and Bharatiya Janata Party has made it a habit to discuss the domestic politics abroad. Prime Minister goes to China and says it was before I became Prime Minister, before 2014, it was like a sin to be born in India. He said that in China, on a foreign soil, the Prime Minister should be ashamed of it. But the BJP, when Prime Minister does any such thing that embarrasses India at the global stage, they go all gaga, and like North Korea, they all praise Prime Minister Modi. So it is the Prime Minister who has taken this hard call of taking India's domestic politics on the foreign soil. Let us also remember that during UPA 2, BJP ran an international narrative that India is the most corrupt country in the world. They amplified all sorts of allegations.
Seeing the kind of response that has come in from your allies, your leaders, from people on social media, from your supporters as well, a wise decision would have been to have apologized for it and to have said that perhaps it shouldn't have happened. As they say, no one becomes small by an apology. But don't you believe the brazen defense of this is actually worsening for you the perception of the Congress party and your stand on this issue?
Uday, 5 seconds. Let me complete, because my friend mentioned about Commonwealth scam and coal scam and 2G scam. The sweeping narrative of largest scam ever collapsed under court scrutiny. Their own agencies in last 11 years have given clean chit to all the accused, and courts have acquitted all the accused, citing lack of evidence. Number one. As far as the apology is concerned, as a Congress spokesperson, let me say this with the full humility and responsibility, that Congress party will consider an apology if the Prime Minister stands and apologizes to the 600 farmers their families who died at the Delhi border, Singhu border, while they were protesting. For 2 years they kept protesting, and Prime Minister
Jyota Basu,
failed
come in
to
here.
take the note of it.
Jyota Basu, they come in here. The Congress party continuing to brazen it out, continuing to say what they did was not wrong. And you've just heard, of course, the defense that has been mounted for the actions of the Youth Congress Party. Of course, all of this, even as now the criminal proceedings are underway as well.
Well, he also called me a woman before, the woman talking to me, talking before me. You know, I mean, this is the Uday, please. I think you need to elevate the standard of the guests that you get on your show. Now, okay, having said that, anyway, the whole idea is, you see, I was just doing some internet navigation. It seems whatever the BJP was doing at that time was part of a nationwide protest, and they were protesting everywhere, all over the country. And the thing is that, and those protests were not taking place during the Commonwealth Games. They had taken place way ahead of the Commonwealth Games. And of course, as a result of it, if you remember how badly Kalmadi got booed during the opening ceremony of the Commonwealth Games, because there was so much talk about the corruption at the time, we remember very well. And you see, I mean, this shows the whole idea is, you see, nobody can see him, so he can just take his phone off the screen. So the thing is, you see, what happens in this case is that the deliberate intention was to gate crash and then disrupt the event. You know, that is something terribly, terribly wrong. You do not do that in front of international guests. You do not enter the place and you disrupt the event. And this is not just, you know, Congress will go around justifying whatever it has been doing. But when its own people, when its own allies, they start opening their mouth and say that, you know, what they have done is irresponsible, unacceptable, perhaps it can tone down the defense that it is putting up to whatever action that their people have taken. It is indefensible. All right, and even their allies realize that, in spite of being extremely anti-government, anti-BJP, and actually having some, I would say, possibilities, they are the strong forces. If you are looking at, say, someone like Akhilesh Yadav, he is a strong force in Uttar Pradesh, and Congress is at the mercy of Akhilesh Yadav in Uttar Pradesh. So these are senior opposition leaders. So you see, when your senior opposition leaders start talking like this, Congress perhaps needs to think a bit that, you know, we should not be sending our spokespersons on TV channels on an issue where everybody is condemning the incident. I mean, for God's sake, get an idea of what the public is thinking. Now, this is why, you know, Congress is a total detachment from they do not know what people are thinking on the ground. I wonder why they are doing what and on whose instruction. Are they doing it, all these things, are they doing it just to please the Gandhis? You know, is that the only reason that they survive? You know, but are they trying to talk to the people, or whatever they do, it's all about the Gandhis. We have to keep them happy. The bosses must be happy.
All right. Okay. Well, I will quickly allow Manasvi Thapar to come back in here, because Manasvi Thapar, at the end of the day, of course, do you believe a course correction is needed? Should the Congress party distance themselves now from what happened there, or is it now too late? Because we are seeing the criminal proceedings now, take their course as well. Perhaps this is getting a big issue which is going to boomerang on the Congress party in the days ahead.
Yes, Uday, but there is also a question which comes on the how our conduct as a democracy has been. One conduct is, I remember CWG, 2G and various scams during the Congress UPA 2 era, and at that particular time, at all the junction, we had a JPC. Now, when we talk about FTA or we talk about Epstein file, there is no way we are talking about any kind of JPC or accountability from those people who are in power. So the conduct of Congress is questionable, but at the same time, the conduct of BJP is also questionable when it comes to the content of the matter in the protest. The protest basically had two major issues. One, what was written in the Epstein files, and there is a name of our current minister, Hardeep Puri. So isn't the opposition in its entire proprietary right to question Hardeep Puri? Yes, it is. I don't think there is two ways about it. Now, secondly, who's in power? It is the BJP who is in power. Is BJP giving an answer in the parliament on Epstein files? No. They're completely abstaining from Epstein files. Secondly, they're also abstaining from the questions raised by Rahul Gandhi or the opposition on FTA. There are relevant questions which needs to be answered, and it is not about Rahul Gandhi asking a question. It's the leader of opposition of our parliament asking a question, which is he's the leader of opposition of entire India, and these questions needs to be answered. So what happens now is, I am the first person to question on the conduct of the Congress. I am also the first question to question the conduct of the BJP. When it comes to two basic questions, what is there in Epstein files? Why is BJP abstaining from it? Why don't we come out with an answer? Yes, we believe that there is something wrong, or we don't believe there is something wrong. The country of 150 crore Indians require an answer
Mukesh
to
Tyagi.
these things.
Mr. Tyagi, can you hear me?
Perfect. Sorry, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Tyagi ji, aap muted the.
No, I haven't muted.
Please go ahead with
Yeah,
Mukesh
please.
Tyagi. We can hear you. I'm out of time.
Yeah. No, these are absolutely, you are making a very preposterous correlationship, and let's not mingle the two subjects. Idea is Rahul Gandhi has behaved irresponsible. His cronies have behaved irresponsible. You have ways and means to raise your protest. Number one, you're fundamentally flawed, and you have embarrassed the country. So that's why he lacks the seriousness and gravitas as a leader of opposition. He needs to be removed from there. If he has an issue with the Epstein file, Hardeep Singh Puri has given an interview his ample interpretation on what happened. It is still a matter under investigation. Only about 10 to 15% pages have come out. So I mean the investigation. I mean those pages.
Okay, Saral Patel, 30
take its
seconds.
own course of time. But
See,
don't compare the two. These
It
are
is
wrong
quite
comparisons.
preposterous that every small protest is linked to Rahul Gandhi. Then everything that happens in the country should be linked to Narendra Modi. We saw how a few days back, a supporter of Narendra Modi and Mr. Om Birla, Raj Singh Amera, issued a death threat to leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi and to the 25 other MPs, saying that he will walk into their home and shoot them in the head. No action has been taken against him. The person continues to scoot free, and the person has the picture with the entire top leadership of the BJP. And
Having a
Prime
picture
Minister
doesn't mean
Modi
that.
and Om Birla is there
Having
to
a picture
condemn it.
doesn't mean he's linked with them. Having a picture doesn't mean he's linked with them. Okay.
Uday, I'm asking you one
He's
question
part
to
of
you.
the
Only one line.
BJP and the BJP
Okay.
ecosystem. What more proof
Yes,
do you
Mukesh.
need?
Okay. Mukesh. All right, I've run out of time. I'm afraid we've run out of time. We're going to have to leave it at that. My thanks to our guests for joining us. More news.